So they're just saying like give a successful trader any strategy, even if it's successful or not, he will make money, and give an unsuccessful trader even the best strategy in the world and he will lose money. So for me, strategy is hardly 15%, right, of the whole game. The rest 85% is psychology, followed by risk management, followed by position sizing, followed by your discipline and all, and how much research you do, right? So that is what it is. But the problem which we can see in the market is like most of the people are running after the strategy because they think like strategy is only one thing by which they can make money. It's not. Even you can make money by single line, drawing a single line. Even a kid knows how to draw that, right? So we can see like there are most of the people who are spending most of the time on charts by drawing line here and there, adding many more indicators, adding blah blah, and many more things out there, right? But people need to understand like if only by drawing indicators or only by drawing lines money would have been made, probably every other person would have made money, right? Learning technicals is not that difficult. Even kid can do that. Even a 7 8 year 9 years 10 years kid can do that. But the point is, can that person execute it properly? Can that person execute it at a proper point, proper time? That is the problem. Can that person holds that trade for more percent? Can that person exit at the proper stop loss? So these are the questions. And the answer of all these questions comes around psychology, risk management, and everything, right? So psychology is one thing which is common for every other person out there, right? We all are here. If there are many more people who are trading this world, right? So I will show you a very simple method, right? Let's clear all this line. And there are many more people who waste much more of their time by drawing support and resistances, blah blah blah, right? But let's go with any name out there, be it BTC or anything, right? Let's go with any name out there. Let's hide this chart, right? And let's take a single line, right? And let's draw it at every interval, every small interval. Even if you do that, right? Every interval, if you do that, I've just taken a distance between every interval, right? And they just see this candle. What you will realize, like this area has acted as support, this area has acted as resistance, this area has acted as resistance, this area has acted as resistance, this area was support, and the conclusion is even this area is support, right? This is the support is holding, right? I can go on, so on, so on. I can show you many like this. Even if you tell any one name, I can show you the same thing, right? So what I have showed you here is like, even if I have hidden the candle out there, and even I have just taken random lines out there, still that line has activated support and resistance. So what does that mean? It means that psychology is same for every other person out there, but there are very few people out there who has got control on the psychology, right? So they don't have the discipline, or they don't have the courage to buy at the right point, or they don't have the courage to sell at the right point, and they go into disbelief like, "Arey, if market is coming down, I will hold for some time because it will go up." So this all are your hope, nothing more than that. And in the market, hope doesn't work. The reality is this only, because hope doesn't work. If hope would have worked, again, I can tell you the same thing. Every other person would have been rich, right? The success ratio of market is too less in comparison to any other business out there. Most of the people in the world of social media are profitable, but the reality is, in real life, most of the people are struggling, right? So the success ratio, if I take the data of any broker out there, let's assume like, let's take the data of Zerodha out there, right? Which is the biggest broker in India. The success ratio is even less than 3%, right? There are hardly 3% people who are making money. And according to Nitin Kamath, who is the CEO of Zerodha, he said like, after 3 years, at an average of 3 years, only 1% of traders are making more returns than in comparison to FD, which is comparison to 6%, right? So if after 3 years, in a time span of 3 years, only 1% traders are making money, which is more than 6%, then what most people are doing, and why most people are struggling? Because they don't know how to manage the risk. They don't work on their psychology. They don't work on their discipline. They don't work on their position sizing. Can you mute your mic? I don't know. Someone's sound is coming.
Guys, please mute your microphone, everyone.
Yeah. So, and the only reason why they're losing is because they are only and only concentrating on finding a good strategy. That's it. And if that strategy doesn't work for that person, he thinks like there is some other holy grail which that person can get it, and so he runs for that. Right. So the conclusion is there is no holy grail in the market. Trust me, there is no holy grail. Even if, hey, yaar, bhai, whosoever is that, please stop this.
Lukman and user 888, please mute your microphone, guys.
Again, if I just hide this line, I'll show you like even any person out there who knows how to draw this trend line out, right? Even a single line can give you money out there. Even if you draw the single line and you see the breakout here, and if you buy it here, it can make you money out there, right? So there is no big deal in making money. The point is, will you buy it? Will you buy here? That is the question. Will you buy at this candle? And most people will struggle to buy at this point because they will think like this candle is 10% or 11% or whatever is that. It is overextended, so I will not buy. Right? And when they will buy, when it will go much more up, and then they will do FOMO and then they will buy. So this happens because of your fear. This happens because of this so-called FOMO, fear of missing out. This happens because of hope, because at this point you think like market will go much more, right? So you will buy that, but you will not buy at correct point. So buying at correct point is a skill which comes with time, right? You cannot buy it anyhow. And again, there are data also like a random buy can also make you money. And people like there are many good people out there who have tested that strategy also. Like you can buy it anywhere, but you should be buying the correct stocks or correct coins or something like that, right? In a correct phase or correct stage, right? So that is the thing. So let's come to that. Now see, we need to understand one thing. I will talk about risk management now. If you are buying something at, let's assume like if you are buying something at 1 rupees or something. 1 second. Yeah. So let's assume like if you are buying at a price of 100, which is here, right? And you have a target of 110 or 115 or 120. Let's assume like you have got a target of 15% out there. So your target is 15%, which is here, and you have kept a stop loss of 8%, right? Or 9% or 10%, whatever is stop loss, that depends on you, right? So when and only when your stock comes down to a stop loss, right? Let's assume like the stop loss is 8% for now. Let's see, right? So at this time you have to sell. Why? The point is question is why. If you are not selling at your stop loss with a hope like it will go up again and I will hold, you need to understand like for now this loss is small, so it will easily recover even if you take the loss. But the bigger your loss is, the more difficult it will be for you to recover that losses, right? I'll show you why. Let's see this here. Let's assume like you got a loss of 5%, right? It will take hardly 5% only to recover that loss. Done, loss recovered. If you got a loss of 8%, it will take you hardly 8.5% to recover that loss. Done, right? If you got a loss of 10%, you will hardly need 11% to recover that loss. Recording. Right? If you get a loss of 13, 14, 15%, now you will need almost 20% to recover that loss. 15.18% rate. So what is the conclusion in all this for now? And I'll take more examples also. So what is the conclusion? The smaller the loss, it is much easier to recover that profit loss, right? So you can easily recover it after buying something else and get the same return. But the bigger your loss is, the harder it will be for you to recover that loss. Trust me. I'll show you how. Right. Now let's go. Let's see more. If the loss is 20%, now it will need almost 25% to recover this. Done. If the loss is 30%, now I'll take bigger examples. if the loss is 30%. So now it will need almost 43-44% to recover that loss. Now you see the difference. It's more than 15% difference, almost 13-14% difference. But now you see, if your loss is 40%, it will take you almost 70% to recover the loss. Now the difference is 30%. If your loss is 50%, it will take you 100% to break even. Right. Now it starts by which people become holder and they are never able to recover their losses, because this is the real game which will start now. Right. So now if the loss is 60%, let's assume, it will take you almost 150% to recover to break even, right? If the loss is 70%, it will take you almost 230% to recover that. If the loss is 80%, it will take you 426%, 430% to break even. If the loss is 90%, my friend, chances are very high like you will never be able to recover your money. But yeah, it will take you 900% to recover the loss, and it can go on more and more and more. So the conclusion is, right, the smaller the loss, the better it is to take, so that you can recover it normally, right? It will hardly take you any good trade, one good trade, and you can recover your losses. But if you are letting your losses run, if you are keeping your losses bigger, trust me, chances are very high like you will be leaving the market in 1, 2, 3 year or 4 year maximum. Right? There is even data like there are very less people who stay in this market for 3 years. Right? Most of the people lose their confidence or either lose their capital in first 3 years. Right? So this is what risk management is. Keep your loss small, make your profit bigger in comparison to whatever loss you are getting. If you are having a bigger losses, trust me, you will spoil your whole trading out there. So always remember it. Make sure to keep your losses small. I see people are holding stocks or coins or whatever is there for almost 60% loss or 50% loss, and they are in hope that bhai, one day it will recover. See, it can happen in crypto because in the last bull run there are many coins which I know which has not recovered. Right? I can give you an example of XRP. This was one of the most popular coin out there, right? And I don't know, I know many people out there. One second. I know many people out there who were there in 2017, 2018, right? And they got at much higher price in comparison to what many people got around here, somewhere here. And trust me, what happened? Even in this bull run, they were never closed, nowhere closed. And like this, there are many more coins out there. Right, and I can go on and go on by giving you many more examples out there. Like, bhai, it's not that okay. Or trust me, if you hold coins like this, or even I don't know, there are many coins which can go on by even BCH, even Monero, even there are many, right? They were the coins which were the top 10 out there, right? Which we call blue chip or whatever is that. And even those coins were not able to recover at their original price. Forget about original, even break-even prices, even more than that, they were not able to do that. So if and only if you are investing your more capital in any one coin by betting it because you are thinking like one good trade will give you retirement, or one good trade will help you in retiring from your job, or one good trade can give you the salary of your month, trust me, you are just not following the proper risk management rule, and then you are taking more risk so that you want to make more money. But what will happen is like you can get lucky once, you can get lucky twice, you can get lucky thrice, but you cannot get lucky every single time, right? And if and only if you want to bet every single thing, then trust me, there are better places, right? You can go to Goa, out of this India, there are many more places where there are casinos, right? Bet your money there if you are here to gamble only. So this is the first thing, right? the risk management thing. Now with risk management comes position sizing, right? So position sizing is very simple. Let's assume like you have got a capital, one second.
Guys who are not talking, please go on mute. Lot of background noise, please.
Yeah. So can you see my Excel Word file, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Thank you. So let's assume like you have got a capital of, I'll just increase the size. Let's assume like any one person has got the capital of 10 lakhs. Right? You can convert in dollars. I'll just take the amount of money, right? So the position sizing rule is, right? What is the rule of position sizing? For every trade, each individual has to divide, sorry. One second. Yeah. So for every trade, each individual has to decide the risk which he is taking on that trade. That means how much money you are ready to lose for a single trade. That is the question. The famous risks are 1% or maximum 2%, right? So what is the meaning of 1%, right? So 1% means 1% of 10 lakhs. Which comes around 10,000 rupees if I'm not wrong, right? So for one trade, you are taking the risk of 10,000 rupees. That means whatever stop loss you are taking, it should be, you will be losing maximum of 10,000 rupees in that trade. That is the risk for each individual trade. Right? Now let's assume if you are someone who is ready to take more risk, right? So you can take the risk of 2% of 10 lakhs, which comes around 20K for a trade. This is for a single trade, trust me. Sorry. Yeah. So if you are taking 5 trades at a time, that means you are risking 5% of your whole portfolio. If you are someone who is taking 10 trades at a time, that means you are taking 10% risk of your portfolio. But that will only happen if you are taking 1% risk each trade. Now let's assume like if you are someone who is taking 2% risk for each trade and then you are taking 10 trades. That means you are risking 20% of your portfolio at one time. And in crypto, if you are taking 20% risk of your portfolio in one time and one bad day and you will lose 20% of your portfolio, which is not small. So this is where risk management comes, right? Let's assume like now, I'll tell you how it works. Let's assume that you want to buy a stock at 100 rupees or 1000 rupees, right? This is the buying price. This is your buying price. The target which you are keeping, right? I don't know whatever target you are taking, but you need to understand like the common rule, right? The minimum rule of risk and reward, which is R is to R. It should be more than 1.2, 1 is to 2. Why so? Right? So 1 is to 2 ratio, I'll come to that, but I'll tell you now. So if your buying price is 1,000 rupees and you are risking 1% of your portfolio, right? Which means you are risking 10,000 rupees in a trade is your risk. So the number of stocks which you are buying is as simple as that. Just divide your risk by the buying price and you will be getting the number of stocks which you have to buy, right? Sorry. So even if you divide 10,000 by 1,000 rupees, it will be 10, right? So you are going to buy 10 stocks and 10 quantity of that stock with a risk of 1% of your whole portfolio, and then you can keep your target out there. Now let's assume like if you are keeping a target of 1 is to 1, that means you are losing 1,000 rupees, sorry, you are losing 10,000 rupees, and when you are winning, you are also winning 10,000 rupees, which means either your stop loss will be 10%. One second. Yeah. If you are putting your stop loss at 10%, and if you are keeping target at 10%, that means your risk and reward is 10%, right? That means your risk and reward is 1:1. So the loss is equal to your target. That is your risk and reward. So what will happen? You can only win when your success ratio of the strategy which you are using. I don't know what strategy you are using. Whatever strategy you're using, right? If the success ratio of that strategy is more than 50%, if the success ratio is more than 50%, then only you will be at break even. If it is more than 60%, then you can make some money out there. Right? So if you are keeping a target of 1:1, your success ratio should be more than 55%, then only you will be making some money. How? I'll tell you. Here we are taking a risk of 10,000 rupees for a single trade. Let's assume like your winning ratio is 50% now. That means after taking 10 trades, you are losing 5 and you are winning 5. So 5 into 10,000 is equal to 50,000 rupees. Means the 5 trades which you won, you made 50,000 rupees. But the 5 trades which you lost is also 50,000 rupees. Also, you will be paying buying fees, or you will be paying selling fees, or whatever fees you are paying, right? So you are not even at break even, right? You are in loss. If your success ratio is 55%, then you will be at very small gain, right? Now here, if your success ratio is 60%, so you win 6 and you lose 4. So here is 60,000 and here is 40,000. So now your total gain is 20,000 rupees. So make sure to check the success ratio of the strategy which you are using. I don't know how many people have back tested it. Please back test it. See your success ratio, or you can journal your trades and to look for all those things like what is your success ratio. Again, journaling is different topic, but every person should journal their trades, like how much they are winning, how much they are losing, what is the success ratio, so that it will give you a proper data, like how much you are winning, how much you are losing. And then you can see like what is the success ratio of your trade or strategy you are using, right? So here what I believe, for me, my success ratio is 44%, which is 44%, right? Disclaimer, I still make money after this, but my risk and reward ratio is 1:3. I hardly take profits at 1:2. I make sure like I'm taking profits at 1:3. So even if I'm losing 6 trades, and even if I'm losing 5.5 trades, and I'm winning 4.4 trades, still I'm making money, because the trades which I'm losing is less in comparison. Here I'm losing almost 55,000 rupees, but my risk to reward is 3:1. So I'm making 30,000 rupees in a trade which I'm winning, and I'm losing. It will come around 44 into 3, 13,200, right? So I'm still making more money in comparison to the trade which I'm losing. So that is what has helped me to come at this point where I'm talking to you, right? That is the thing. Risk management has helped me in quitting my job or whatever is that, right? So the only way you can stay in the market, or whatever you can do, is by having a proper risk management. You should fix your proper risk and reward. Again, when I'm talking the risk and reward of 1:3, I know traders out there who have got a risk and reward of 1:5 also. And I know people out there who have got a risk and reward of 1:10 also. So when you have a risk and reward of 1:10, even if your success ratio is 20%, you are making money, my friend. Right? So most of the strategy which are available in the market out there, even free, even in YouTube, even the so-called many traders are teaching it, right? Their success ratio comes around 30 to 40%, right? There are many people who will claim you like they have got a success ratio of 80%, 90%. Trust me, run away from that place. Don't trust them, right? Even if that any person has got a success ratio of 80%, sooner or later he'll be the richest person in India and followed by world, right? So don't trust that. Even if you have a strategy which has a success ratio of 50%, you can easily make money by having a risk and reward of 1:2. Anything more than that is bonus for you. Right? Hope I'm clear. Do let me know if you have any doubts in this so that I'll repeat it.
Yeah, Braj, one question
Yeah.
about yeah. Actually, how many trade you take at a time? Let's say if you are in a market, let's say you are doing day trade or you are in swing position,
Yeah.
how many trade you take? Because there is always a thing like market move in one direction. So let's
Yeah.
say if Nifty move down, then all the stocks will go down, right? So
Mhm.
there are higher chances that you will lose 5% or 10% of your capital.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in order to recover that capital, it's really hard to recover that capital. So what's your strategy on that?
See, for me, what I believe is like in any market, risking 5% capital is okay, right? Because even if you're not risking 5% of capital at one time, trust me, you are not using your money then. And it will be too late for you to, for any person out there to make money. So for me, my risk at any market, be it crypto, be it US market, or be it equity market, right? My risk for every individual market is 6 to 6.5% risk. Why so? Right? Is because I hardly believe like, let's assume like I get one bad day. Right, one second. Now I can come to this, right? Yeah. So I do understand one thing because according to my strategy, I said, as I said, like my success ratio is 44%, right? It's less than 50% also. So I do know one thing, like the 10 trades which I'm going to take or 11 trades which I'm going to take, I'm going to lose 6 trades, right? That is very normal. I'll be willing only 4 to 5 trades. I know that. So when I take the risk, I make sure I have my mind like this, like why I'm going to lose out 10 trades, 6 trades out of 10 trades, right? So I assign my capital with a risk like at any time in the market for any individual market, I am risking 6 to 6.5% out there. So there are very rare days out there where any stop loss will hit every sorry. There are very rare days in equity market at least where all 10 stop loss will be getting hit in one single day. It will not be possible in equity at least. In crypto, it is possible. One bad day where Bitcoin has gone down by 20, 30, 40% and you are done. So your all stop loss will be hit. But in crypto also, it's quite easier in comparison to equity to recover 6.5%. Right. That is also one thing because crypto is when it is upside, it will give you more money. When it is downside, if you are early person who got losses quickly and got out early, chances are very like you will be getting much better time to recover that losses. Right. So that is
Yeah.
also one thing. So
Previously all coin used to move together, but currently we have seen different condition like the sector wise coin are moving, and sometimes a few coins are moving upwards, even if BTC goes down. So it's kind of different experience we have.
hmm. This is what I call relative strength. Again, that is a different topic, like where we are putting our money out there. But for me, I'm more of a relative strength trader who believes in buying very few things out there. I'm not someone because Sujit knows me like I buy very normal things, very small things, and I stick to few names out there. I don't go all out in the market to buy any single coin or any shit coin out there and I'll buy them. No, I'm not that type of person. Like, I am very specific to the market. I do scan all the market out there, be it crypto. I scan all 300 coins. If you see, I have got the watch list also. See, these are almost all the pairs of 284 USDT pairs, and these are 294 BTC pair, right? So I scan every single coin out there, right? Individually, manually, I do that. Or at least a balance, at least, right? I don't look for other exchanges. So I do that. When I do this, I make a list of which of the coins are doing strong even in bad markets. And then I put my money out there. But I'll tell you one thing, even in this case also, coins like, again, I don't want to go to any individual coin, but this was one coin which has gone opposite to BTC move in coming days or whatever is that, right? So it has outperformed BTC. But in last few days, it has gone in the same hand. Same way, right? So even what is that? Yeah. Even in good markets or even in bad markets, can you please mute your mic? Yeah. So let's assume like in crypto, what is the biggest stop loss which you can take? For me, my biggest stop loss for any coin out there is 15%, right? If it is has gone down by 15%, trust me, I do know one thing, like my entry point is wrong and I will be happy to exit by taking the loss. I don't hold any coins or any stock out there, at least in equity, though it is much smaller in comparison to crypto. But in crypto, 15% is something which I, again, not 15% for every trade, but a common I'm telling you. So I don't keep a stock or coins which is going down by 20%, 30%, I'll be holding. No, I don't stay in hope. Any market, any bad day where BTC has gone down and my stop loss has got triggered and I have exited. Right. So that is the thing. Give me 1 second. Someone is there in the door.
I think position size is something we need to pay attention. I think, as far as I know, in the group, no one follows the position size, or at least no one knows about it much. For each trade, how much position you should have. So I think that's an improvement point. Previously, I I didn't used to follow the position size, but nowadays I'm following it strictly. So I'm I'm getting so much improvement because of single position size things. So I have a calculator. Maybe Devlin, you have the position size calculator website, right? Calci.trade. I think
And
he
it is
can pay.
available in Google also. And people can get it free, right? Just search a single position sizing calculator, you will be getting it. Just manage your risk, like how much risk you want to get. Even people who are good in Excel, they can make it themselves and they can do it, right? So I have got one for myself, and there are many people who do that. So, so this was what I was talking about in position sizing. So any bad day, whenever BTC has gone down by 20% or 10%, obviously my stop loss has got hit, and I'm more than happy to take the loss and sit with USD also. For now, even this market, when people are worried or much more worried, I'm hardly invested with 30 to 35%. That's it. The rest 65% or 70%, I'm in USDT. I'll only buy strength. I don't buy weakness. So my strategy is different, right? So that is one thing. So I hope I was able to clear this position sizing thing and risk management thing. If you combine these two things, right, cut your losses small, let your winners run. This is very famous quote, right? So many people talk about this. But if you do this, chances are very high like you will stay in the market for a long time. Position sizing is very, very crucial, like how much portfolio you are losing in one go. I know people who have lost 20-30% in one go, right? If you do that in 3 times, you are out from the market, bhai. You don't have funds after that. So make sure you are putting your losses small. Yeah, there will be one bad time or one bear market where you will be losing 10 to 20% of your portfolio, because in one go you will lose 7 to 8%. In another go, you will again lose 7 to 8%. And then in another go, you will again lose 7 to 8%. But by losing 3 times continuously after losing 20% of portfolio, it will be very clear like market is very, very bad and we are officially in bear market. Then wait for your right time and then you can put your money out there, right? So every person has got the different own strategy, right? Sujit has their got own. I do something of mine. There are many people who use different strategies, but strategy hardly makes you money. I will say that again. What makes you money is psychology. What makes you money is risk management. What makes you money is position sizing. There are many good investors out there, because one of the famous name is Warren Buffett, right? If you look at him or if you look at his portfolio, what you will realize is like his success ratio is not that great, but the money which he has made in few stocks out there, right, is much more in comparison to what he has lost. So if you can do that, that is also fine. Let's assume like you have got $10,000, and if you are putting if you are putting $1,000 equally in 10 trades, right, and even if in that 10 trades 2-3 coins goes to zero, let's assume, so you lost $3,000, right? It goes to zero. 2-3 coins stay at natural price or break-even price or 20-30% less. But rest 3-4 coins can, if they can go to 3x, 4x, 5x, you are making money still after that also. So there are many ways to do position sizing. Every person has got their own risk, right? The point is how much risk you are taking. If you want to stay in the market for a long time, you have to follow proper position sizing. That there is no shortcuts. Because they think like if I get 10% of this, it will be more than my salary, and so I'll be more than happy. But they don't think like if it will go down and then you will lose 10%, then what will happen? Right? So don't make that mistake. Even if you are someone who goes all in or take a lot of risk, see, it's okay if it is working for you. But if you want to stay in this market for a long time, trust me, it will not work for you. Trust me. I have seen people getting washed out from the market time and again. Right? There are much more history out there. If you read the books, you will be getting to know like bhai, some of the best traders out there, even Jesse Livermore, for whom we say like why he has been the best trader ever in this world who landed, right? And he died by committing suicide, right? And when he died, he was poor. Even he was the greatest trader of the all time, right? 3 times in his career, he won, he converted into some millions out there, come back to zero, again millions again. So the conclusion is like he died by suicide because he was not happy with what he was doing, right? Or there can be many more reasons also. Right? So it's not about how much money you are making. If you are making money, congrats, good. But how much you are keeping after that, right? That is important. There's a story I will tell you, right? There's a very small story. In 2001 or 2002, I don't remember exactly. There was a beggar in US, right? United States. He won a lottery of around $22 million, right? A beggar, a garbage person who was just taking out the garbage and who was selling it. He won a lottery of $22 million out there. And you know what? After 3 years, he was again a garbage man because he lost every single penny which he had, which he got from the lottery, because he was not able to manage that money. So for me, again, this is my opinion. I have the right to be wrong. Like many money is okay. There are people I know who has made money, but keeping it is much more difficult in comparison to making money. So if you are making it, make sure to keep it. If you cannot keep it, contact right people and they can help you out there. There are many people out there who are available and they can help you out. If not, if you think like you know everything, congrats, good luck for your future. That's it. So psychology is something you need to understand. Risk management is something which you have to apply. Position sizing is something which you have to remember anyhow. You can get lucky once, you can get lucky twice, but you cannot get lucky every single time, man. At least I have not got lucky, and I have also lost a heck lot of money. But yeah, by God grace or whatever happened, I have made more. What I have made much more in comparison to what I have lost.
Braj, one question.
Yeah.
Yeah, this cut the losses small is a simple thing to understand, but really difficult to implement.
Exactly.
So, what you did to overcome this kind of thing? Like at the starting point, you must have difficulty to cut your losses, right? So,
Yeah.
what is your experience and how did you overcome to this situation?
Yeah. So what I did was like I became more of a systematic trader who will buy something in crypto. We have got the privilege to put stop loss at that point only. In equity, it's not that like if you buy tomorrow, today, you will be getting the stocks tomorrow, then only you can put stop loss. But in crypto, at least one thing is good, like you get the opportunity to put stop loss at the very same time where you are buying. So what I do is like I buy anything, let's assume like I got anything, ABC, right? At the same time, exactly at the same time, I'll put stop loss manually and I will leave. Simple. And that stop loss is market stop loss. When it will hit, it will be done. I don't remove it. There are people who do that, they remove it, or there are people who wait for it. Ki, Arey bhai, when it will come, then I will put it. Nah, bhai, it's too late. Too late. In crypto, one big candle can come in 1 minute out there, right? We have seen it. So why to wait for some time? So I made a habit, right? I made this habit to put stop loss at the same point when I am exiting it. If and only if I'm buying something which I trust or which I'm going to hold for a long time, because I'm more of a swing trader out there, right? So if I have some other things in mind, then only I'm not going to put stop loss. At that time, I'm okay to buy at a small point or buy at below point also, which people call DCA, right? Whatever is that. So that is what I do very rarely, but most of the time, whenever I buy it, I put stop loss at that time. I know one thing, if I'm ready to take that loss because of psychology thing, I'm disciplined enough to do that. So I take that loss. When a bad candle happens, my stop loss gets triggered. But I do know one thing, like now I'm ready with my funds. So that whenever I'm going to get more opportunities, I will be the first person to buy it. So that is how I have worked. Again, this is easier said than done, right? So it will take time for any person out there to overcome this. It will take time for any person out there to be that much disciplined. But yeah, there is no shortcuts. Trust me, there is no pill which you are going to eat and everything will happen. So you have to fight for it. Because
How about the cutting the profit? Because if you see most of the trader, what they do, if they see the green in their position, they cut it immediately.
yeah, so as I said, like my risk and reward is 1:3 minimum, right? So what I do is, like, there are times if the market is good at 1:3, I will cut 50% of the profits. So I'm done with my 50% of position. Then I will move my stop loss to break even so that I've got nothing to lose. Plus I have got another 50% of that profit. And then I will let things run. This will only happen when market is good. I repeat. But if the market is bad, right, I will take 100% profit at 1:3. Simple. Even if I don't get 1:3, I'm more than happy to take profit at 1:2 if the market is bad. Because profit is profit, right? I have not met anyone out there who has gone broke by taking profits.
Hey bro, I have a question.
Yeah.
The question is like, can we use the same strategy for the small traders as well, like who have $500 to $1,000 in their portfolio?
Can you please repeat it what you said?
Can we use the same strategy, whatever you have said, like those who have $5,000 to $100 in their portfolio? As you mentioned that, you take an example like 10 lakh rupees, right? But what about those guys who have $500 to $1,000 in their portfolio? Can we use the same strategy over here? 1%?
Some strategy you asking or sell strategy you asking?
No, whatever you have said, like 1% of the total portfolio in each trade.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I
it's
got it, I got it.
applicable for $10 portfolio also.
Yeah.
So what people generally recommend, like even if in order to practice it, you make a portfolio of $10 and uh, calculate your position size and take 100 trade based on that and see.
I'll
Yeah,
tell it in better manner, right? One second. If means
okay.
there is a saying, right, which Sudhir has said, that is the right point, right? So no matter how much portfolio you have to follow the same strategy. But I can tell you one thing for sure, which is the line which I wanted to tell. If you cannot convert 10,000 rupees into 20,000 rupees, what is the guarantee which you are going to convert 1 lakh into 2 lakh? Right? So first make a habit, but no matter how small your portfolio is, right? Learn that, later increase your money. For me, I'm not someone who believes in like you can make a lot of money from a small amount of portfolio. No, you can't. Right? There are people who do promotions on social media, they do that. But I'm not someone who can tell you like, you can make a fortune with small portfolio out there. For that, you have to do job. For that, you have to do some other part. Make money, bring that money to the market, learn the market side by side, and then you can make money. But as Sujit said, even if you have a portfolio of $10, you have to follow the same position sizing. I know it's too small, but nobody has got a portfolio of $10, right? So if you have a portfolio of $500, manage the risk. Your every single trade risk will be 1% of that, which is $50, right?
Yeah.
$5. Sorry,
$5.
$5. Right. So take risk accordingly.
Okay, yeah, got you.
Any other question, Milo?
Yes, Brajman, I have a question. Like you
Yes.
said, you take in your personal trading, you mostly take the risk of 6% or 6.5% of your portfolio. So that is in a single trade you do that, or it is like for your.
Let's assume like I'm taking risk of 1.5% in a single trade. So the overall stocks which we will have having is 4 or 5 maximum. So it is 6.5 on the whole portfolio.
Okay.
So that is the reason
Okay.
I told you, na, I take very small numbers of trades, right? Because I bet more money in single trade. That is the thing. Because I manage risk accordingly. See, I can tell you one thing for sure. If you are not putting proper size in a trade, it doesn't matter how much percentage you make. Even if you make 100%, even if you make 200%, or even if you make 10,000%, it hardly matters, right? For me, if you have a correct position size, and even if you make 20-30%, trust me, do it continuously for some trade, 10 to 15 trades, and you can make a fortune out there. That is the reality, right? Because that is the power of compounding out there, right? So if you can do it continuously, do it, you can make a fortune. Let's assume like if I have got a portfolio of 1 lakh rupees, and if I put 100 rupees in a stock, right, which is not even 0.2%, right? And then that stock goes by 1,000% up. So how much money I'm going to make? 1,000 rupees. What is that percentage of income present to the overall portfolio which I had? So don't be someone, I don't believe in becoming someone who buys 10 stocks, 20 stocks, 30 stocks. Trust me, in our group, this crypto Joe group or dojo group, whatever is that, I'm not much active because I hardly buy few things and then I share that. If I don't buy it, I don't like to share anything because I believe in sharing what I buy, right? But I see people like they are talking about coins or stocks every single day. I don't know how they're buying it. And even if they're buying it, I don't know how they are managing the position then. So this is how I am. Again, so this is not for anyone out there. I'm not targeting anyone, but this is my view, what I have said. Any other questions?
No, I think.
Hope people are done, right?
Brother, I have a question. Can you just cite an example? How do you look out for a good reward, risk reward trades?
How I look for a good trade?
Good risk reward, like how do you filter that?
Okay, so I can give you any example, be it crypto or equity, right? Or you want example in crypto only?
Yeah, anything is fine.
Anything you can open Nifty, no, anything.
Hello, can I?
No problem. I'll show you. Disclaimer: I'm not here to promote this stock. It's as simple as that because you asked for example, I'm showing it, right? So let's assume like I bought stock here. Yeah, my buying price is here, right? And I'm going to lose hardly 4%. My target is hardly this one, 10%. So it's almost 1:3, right? This is it.
Yeah, I think what he does mean to say that what is the criteria you look for? What is your system to
Acha,
look
system
for
you are talking
trade?
about. Are bhai,
Yeah.
my strategy is more of a VCP. Like I will look for contraction patterns with some other things out there. So again, that is a different topic. That is a whole different thing to discuss, right? So today's whole class was like, Sujit said like, will you discuss your strategy? I said like, in this class, let's discuss about psychology and risk management because that is what I believe is more important, right? I do share about psychology and, acha, can I promote? I do share my strategy in the sense, I do share about psychology and risk management on my Twitter, right? So if there is someone who wants to read about this, they can go there, right? Can I open it or not? Sujit?
Yeah, why not?
So I have got my Twitter handle at Brajbhushan 1995 at the rate Brajbhushan 1995. So ERAJ BHUSHAN 1995. So this is my Twitter handle which I have. I do try to share things which I know or which I have studied. I'll show you. Right. So let's assume, let's go home.
Click on profile.
Sorry.
Click on profile.
Yeah,
Profile.
got it. So this is something which I took about psychology. I read books, so I share about it. Right? And here, what I wrote, like Facebook went down by 26%. Actually, it went down by 34%. And one day, Mark Zuckerberg lost more than $39 billion. Even it can happen with most famous companies out there. So I don't know whatever stocks you're holding, it can happen with that also. Right. So I know a few things. That is what I said. This is one of the strategy which I use. I have shared this also, right? So I look like this also, right?
Yeah, chundu.
Sorry. I hope if anybody has got any question, can ask, and then we can close the session.
ഞായറാഴ്ച നോക്കാതെ ഒന്നും ചെയ്തില്ല നല്ല പൈസ വാങ്ങിയ
Sorry.
Scalper, can you mute?
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but can you just repeat this point again after what you discussed just after that 1:2 kind of risk management thing?
Now, which I said or which I said before?
Now.
The risk management, what I said is like, see, if any person, for me, as I said before, like I have got a risk and reward of 1:3. So if I'm losing 5% on a trade and if I'm making 15%, it is 1:3, right? So that is what I do. So I know like out of 10 trades, I'm going to lose at least 6 trades minimum, or even 5, right? So
Okay,
because my success rate is 44%,
so
as I said.
so it is like a 50-50 thing, right? Can you actually tell for sure that this will actually get me the 1:3 ratio? As in, I mean, there are some times when you take it, it goes in the opposite direction, or is
Ma'am.
it that majority of the time, more than 50% of the time, it goes in the direction that you
exactly.
think?
It's market, ma'am. There is nothing certain, right? So as I told you before, if market is good, I will wait for 1:3. If the market is bad, I know like 1:3 is hardly possible, so I'm okay to take 1:1 also, or 1:2 also. It depends on the market condition. But as I have said, like I don't trade in bad markets because I buy strength, right? So strength will only come in good markets. So when bad market comes, I spend more time in reading, or I spend more time in learning new things out there, or playing
Yeah.
badminton, or whatever happens. So I'm
He
not
said,
someone. Yeah.
yeah, he said is, I think you are 42 probability, right? 44%.
Yeah,
You are
44%.
Yeah. So to give an answer, like out of 100 trade, he win only 44%.
Exactly, 44.
And
So
still he make,
approximately more than 4 good trades.
Sorry.
Meaning approximately like 4 trades out of 10 that actually hits the mark that you set.
Yeah.
When you say that 43%, does it mean it hits the mark that you set, or is it that it is a positive trade? That is my confusion.
Ma'am, see, there are ratio. I will tell you. I'll give you data, right? 1 second. Just let me share that screen. Sure. Yeah, I'll give you here only. See, if I win 44 trades out of 100, right? Let's get it easy. Out of 100, even if, right? Let's assume like I'm making 3:1, right? I told you before. So I make 3:1. So let's assume like I only made 3:1 trades, with 3:1 profit in 20 trades. And rest 24 trades, which is rest 44, right? 24 trades where 1:2 or 1:1 or whatever is that, right? Right? 1:2 or 1:1. Assume it here. My one single profit, my risk is, let's assume like I will take risk of 10,000 rupees, right? So the number of trades which I lost is 56, right? Lost trades is 54, right? Correct me if I'm sorry, 56 into 10,000 rupees. So I lost whatever amount is that, right? Now the winning trades, 20 trades I have won 23:1, right? So 20 into 30,000 rupees. So I am covering this whole loss in these 20 trades only, man. The rest 24 trades is bonus for me. Now you got a point what I'm saying. Is it clear now?
No, I'm sorry. Once again, you're
Yeah.
saying successful and lost. What I'm asking is whatever target you had in mind. Okay, does it mean that 40
Ma'am, no.
trades
What I'm saying is I'm
you hit
44%
that target?
profitable.
Okay, doesn't mean that you actually hit the target you have in mind.
No, that I said, na ma'am. Even if out of 44% time I'm profitable, so even if 24% of time I'm not getting 1:3, I'm getting 1:1 or 1:2. Even
No,
if
I'm
after
sorry.
that also I'm making money, that is what I'm telling
What
you.
I'm asking you actually,
I cannot hear you. Only there's a network problem.
sir. Okay, what I'm asking is, I'm not asking about your
Ma'am, your sound is cutting.
actual rate at which you are able to hit. Okay, is it better now?
Yeah, it is better now.
Hello?
Yeah.
Question is the actual target you have in mind. What percentage of your target you have in your mind?
Ma'am, I'm not able to hear you properly. I don't know. So probably some network issue. You are saying you're asking like 44% time I'm hitting the target, right? That is what you're asking.
I think some issue with audio.
Yeah.
I think she wants to ask if your risk and reward are they predefined. So I think the answer is yes. His risk
Yeah.
is 5% and his reward is 15% on a
Yeah.
trade. Like that.
It
One
is
is to three.
predefined. Yeah, it is predefined.
Yeah. Otherwise, he will get 1:1, like 5% loss, stop loss, and 5% target. Or
Exactly.
is 1:1 and 5% stop loss and 10% profit is 1:2 for him. Yeah.
Exactly. So my loss is fixed. I never increase my losses. I always play with this. So I told you, even if I do this, even if I don't get 33, so 3:1 in all 44 trades, only I get 20 trades, which I make 33:1. Still, I'm covering all these losses by this only. The rest all is profit, right? So this is all the amount of money which I'm making. It's as simple as that. So
Braj, in case of stock market,
yeah,
how do you manage the big gap down, like Facebook thing happened, right?
yeah,
So how you can manage such a event?
yeah. There are times when if our stop loss defined is 8%, but if you get, let's assume like the stock is already in loss of 4% and yesterday it gapped down by 5% or 6%. So now the total loss is 10%, right? It should be 8%, but now it is 10% because of this gap down and all. So at what I will do is like at the same time, I will remove my stop loss and I will sell at the market price. But as I have said, this will not happen every single day. It will happen probably once in 2 months or something like that. And what I told you, if this trades, only 20 trades take care of my all losses, rest all are bonus for me. Assume 4 trades also, which will manage my gap down and all. The rest 20 is the profit, right? So ultimately, it boils down to position sizing. Ultimately, it boils down to risk management because I have predefined position sizing, right? So even if it goes down by more than 1-2%, how much I'm going to lose? Right? That is the thing. So you can manage any bad event. Let's assume like even if we last 2020 March, right, which was the probably one of the worst markets, right? Even if we got to manage that time only, back to back stop loss hit 7% done on the portfolio, right? So I was out. In 2 days, I was out on the whole portfolio, right? And at that time, I thought of entering again. Again, there was no strong trades to enter. So all I lost about 7 to 8% on the whole portfolio, which hardly took 1.2 months to recover, right? So then after that, everything was bonus.